Hi guys, this is Klazard, and I've got the incredibly knowledgeable Kenny alongside in a SC2GG commentary idol dual commentary special. Hope you guys are ready for this. Hold on to your seats. This is the OSL round of 16 between Leta and Tester, and this should be a huge matchup. Everything on the line for both of these players, and everything on the line for our contestant Kenny, who we are going to be featuring in this commentary. So if you guys hear me not talking a lot, hopefully that's because Kenny's got a lot to say.
Oh baby, you're totally right, man. This game is going to be super cool, man. I can't believe I'm casting with Klazard. Thank you everyone for getting me here. I'm so excited. We are going to have Tester versus Leta, as Klazard did mention earlier, and this is on Medusa. Now, to kind of sum up a little bit of what happened in the previous rounds of the OSL, what got us to this game right here is actually some kind of interesting games. July losing to Bisu on Return of the King, a very action-packed game. I do suggest that you watch it. And of course we have our other player here, Tester, losing to By Hero in a pretty exciting game, but I think it was a little bit one-sided, so I definitely check those games out. But one thing to mention here is that, I mean, Medusa is a very technical map, extremely technical, especially for Terran, since you can't build anything in the middle of the map at all. It's got kind of like little ravines and cracks in the middle of the map, so you can't build anything there. So that makes hard pushes extremely difficult. And also, this map is very easy for Protoss to take in early expansion, so it's very good for Protoss to expand on, and a Terran to expand on as well. But I expect to see some really interesting play out of both these players. Leta has always been one of my favorite Terrans, because he's just got this really cool style that you don't see a lot out of Terrans these days, so I'm really excited to see this match.
Yeah, this is going to be absolutely huge. And just to put things, and it looks like we've got a 12 Nexus from Tester. So Tester taking maximum advantage of this map, knowing that his opponent is not going to be going for anything crazy. He's decided that he's going to be the one to go for anything crazy, and probably because he feels he needs to do that against a player of the caliber of Leta. Obviously, this is a must-win game for both of these players. Leta really finds himself in a lot of trouble in a group that really he should have been comfortable in. He lost against By Fantasy in the previous round of this group, and that's just put him in such a horrible position, because now he really actually, sorry, that was the MSL. I'm mixing up my games. Leta lost to Flash, as you mentioned, in the previous round of this group, and that's put him in an uncomfortable position because he really needs to. He would have counted on beating Tester. Unfortunately, this map has a statistic of 70% Protoss versus Terran victory rate. 70%. The question is that enough of an advantage for a player like Tester? And I'm sorry, I don't mean to berate Tester. And we're just seeing some Pro versus SCV action right in the middle at Leta's temple. But is the 70% rate enough for a player like Tester to be able to overcome Leta, and or is it Leta really who needs to be overcoming Tester here? Normally you would expect Leta to stroll through this, but Tester, I have to say, has a good chance on this map against Leta, and Leta could find himself in the horrible position of going out of both the OSL and the MSL this season, where he's destroying everyone in the Pro League.
Yeah, definitely correct there, and I do apologize. I did forget to mention that Leta actually did lose to Fantasy there, so, which was a really crazy Terran versus Terran. So Leta is going to this game maybe a little bit on edge, and like you said, this map could play out in Tester's favor, because I mean, those statistics, I mean, they speak for themselves. I know sometimes statistics don't matter, but Medusa is a very technical map, and really one of the maps I would say statistics really do matter on. This map is extremely difficult. I've been playing Terran lately, actually, and this map is very difficult to play on. I can't even imagine playing against this high a caliber of players. And as you see, we are seeing the early command center from Leta, so we are going to see maybe some later gameplay, because we did see the 12 Nexus, and Leta knows, okay, there's one of two ways that he can go here, Leta. He can either go to factory build and just all-in rush Tester, which in this kind of position he might not want to do, or he can try to expand himself and really just macro up and keep this game kind of at an equal economic advantage. Now, really, Tester's already ahead because he did do that 12 Nexus, which I was explaining earlier, so huge on this map, because you can just take that Nexus in the back of your base and it's basically free. You have to kill temples to really get back there, or you have to go all the way into their base and up the ramp to get to the back there. So really smart play so far by Tester. And like you said, don't leave Tester out of this yet. He may not be the best player in the Pro Leagues, but come on. This map speaks for itself, and of course he is a pro anyways, so he is a good player, and we just got to see how this game unfolds.
Yeah, I mean, the question of whether or not he's a good good player. Really, I think he hurt himself, his credentials a lot by his previous performance in the OSL against Bai Hero. Again, Leta, if he can win this matchup, he will be in a comfortable position. Leta playing some really clever StarCraft here. He sent a couple of vultures out. He's mining the path. He's also putting a starport up, if you noticed, and obviously that's to get a Wraith out to counter the shuttle to prevent the Protoss harass, which can be so deadly, especially on this map. And yeah, Tester obviously went for the early Nexus, so he's got the economic advantage. Now he's going to be forced to send a Zealot out to try and run those Spider Mines down, but really, that wasn't fantastic by Tester. A total of 2 Spider Mines was all his Zealot was able to get. He really should have been able to get a slightly better drag if you saw the positioning of those Spider Mines. So what he's doing is quite clever here, because Tester, obviously, if he was going ahead with a Shuttle and Reaver, he would have liked to have his Dragoons into support at Leta's choke. So Leta doing a good job of just laying some Spider Mines down and just to try and keep Tester back, to keep him from really putting the pressure back on Leta, considering that Tester's economy should kick into gear earlier, and that's going to give Leta the little bit of time he needs to catch up and to get his own economy and his own macro up to the level where he needs it. And immediately we've seen a control tower go up for Leta as well, and that's interesting. I wonder why he's decided to go for the starport with control tower so early on in the game against obviously a Terran player who's bound to have observers, so it's definitely not going to be cloak raids. And brilliant by Leta, he managed to get a run by with 3 vultures into Tester's base, and poor play by Tester. He really should have stopped that, and he's going to lose a couple of probes here. The only mistake I've seen from Leta thus far is that he scouted very, very late, and that's why Tester's got, actually obviously he's going for the dropships, and that's why Tester's got whatever little advantage that he has.
Yeah, that's definitely correct. Now, one thing to note is Tester's already going for his 3rd, which is pretty common in Protoss vs Terran. But a thing to mention now is the dropship play. If this really fails, Leta could be extremely far behind, and that's not a position he wants to be in. It does look like Tester is already set up perfectly to deter any sort of dropship play at all. He's got goons in his main, and up on high ground, he's got pylons to see all the vision around there. He knows what's going on at any time. Map hack on Tester's base right now. So really, I don't think Leta's going to be able to sneak anything in and do any damage. The mine's being cleared out of the middle right now. So this is going to be a very critical point. Now, is Leta going to go for some sort of early push, or is he going to wait and just make this a maxed out battle type position? Really, I don't know. This can just branch off in so many different directions. So I really got to... Really just got to sit back and analyze exactly what the players are doing. I mean, a couple more factories going up right now, so I expect Leta to try to push this into that kind of huge army versus huge army type play, which is so common these days in Terran versus Protoss, and it's going to be, I expect, to be some sort of an upgrade battle, really, because when Terran tries to push the game into a late game, they need those upgrades to really mess with the huge forces of the Protoss. What I'm really excited to see, are we going to see Arbiters, or are we going to see some sort of carrier play? It's very common on this map to be using either, really, but it's just we got to see here. And yeah, so there we go.
Yeah, good play by Tester with obviously the positioning of the Dragoons, but he is really giving Leta the initiative early on and telling Leta, okay, you make the aggressive moves. Leta now coming in with the scans, he's seen the 3 Dragoons there, and Leta hasn't really been, he's committed himself to those dropships. He spent a lot of resources on those dropships, and he hasn't really been able to get any mileage out of them, and that's hurting him. The longer those dropships continue to be in play without affecting some sort of damage on Tester, some sort of harass, now he's going to come in and going to be able to drop. He drops a tank, and I think Tester would have been wise to almost focus in on the siege tanks, but he's now going to be forced to use the Dragoons from below the ridge as well, and Leta's in a decent position here to put some pressure on Tester. He's got a couple of siege tanks as well as vultures, but those vultures have been taken out, and now Tester's just going to be able to close right within range of those siege tanks and pick them off. Some great Dragoon play by Tester, using the Dragoons on the bottom of the hill as well, and Leta's first attack comes to naught. 2 dropship worth of units dropping in and killing 1 Dragoon total and losing everything in the process. So Tester's lead continues to cement, and you know, on the one hand, Tester has given Leta the initiative. He says, okay, I've taken the gambit to go 12cc, now I'm ahead in economy. If you want to win this game, you're going to have to make all the moves, and I'm just going to sit back here and absorb the pressure and build my lead. And Leta is being forced to make all the moves, and unfortunately so far for him, they haven't paid off. Sorry about that, guys. We just had a little bit of an interruption there. Sometimes this kind of stuff happens in commentaries. Now, normally when something like this would happen, we would just restart the commentary, but because this is a competitive situation, I don't think we can. So we're just going to carry on here, and I hope you guys will keep in mind that this is an exciting commentator idle final, and a little pause never hurt anybody, just to allow us to catch our breath in what is proving to be an exciting matchup, with Leta having to put all the pressure on Tester here. And Leta really needs to do something soon, because he's continuing to lag behind right now.
Yeah, definitely. Leta is just getting further and further behind right now. He really needs to make these drops effective, because if he does not, he's just going to be so far behind. I don't know if he's going to be able to catch up. And really, he doesn't have the support. Already, Tester is just there with so many goons, ready to fight on all flanks, man. I mean, he's in the middle, he's in his main base, he's on top, and he's just surrounding Leta's forces, really taking out so many tanks, so many vultures. Brilliant play so far by Tester. I don't know if this drop is really going to be effective. He is losing quite a few goons, but already more reinforcements coming around the side, so I think that this might have been deterred. So this is really bad for Leta. Man, I'm hoping that Leta can pull something out of his magical sack and really make this work, but it is certainly not looking good for him at all.
Yeah, Tester's micro is not impressing me though. He's running in with those zealots, 4 zealots to a single spider mine, and now he's lost all of his zealots before they could make it to the siege tanks. And again, Tester in the lead, now starting to throw some of his advantage away. Leta with the double drop, he had the vultures waiting, he dropped in the 4 siege tanks, and the 4 siege tanks